and welcome to my channel. I've never met a sparkle that I didn't like and a bully that I did, because being mean is not cool. Awesome people are not mean, so be kind all the time. So welcome to another day of Colleen's Creeptober and another episode of Friday Frights. So for this edition of Friday Frights, thought I would talk about a couple of different urban legends surrounding female ghosts, because female ghosts for some reason just are really, really creepy. I know I've talked about a few on my channel before, mainly some white ladies, because I think white lady ghosts are just so fascinating. I've talked about the Silk Lady of Madisonville, Louisiana, and I've talked about my absolute favorite, Resurrection Mary. So if I could meet a white lady ghost, I would pick Resurrection Mary. Since this is the video right before Halloween, who knows what might happen during this video? Who knows what visitor we could have or whatever could pop up. I mean, I don't even know where I am right now. So it's going to be exciting. So I'm going to stop rambling and let's get into creating an eye look and talking about some female ghost urban legends. So I hope all of you are having a great time, a great start, to your Halloween weekend. I am. I'm not really doing anything too exciting. I am hanging out in this really cool place. I have to travel back though because I have to go to work tomorrow. So the first story I thought I would share with you guys is about the Headless Nun. So this ghost is said to roam about in Canada's French Fort Cove, lonely and seeking her lost head. In Doug Underhill's novel Miramichi's Tall Tales and True, he places her origins in the 1700s when noble French women were sent to Canada to join convents. But this poor nun unfortunately met a tragic end when she came across either a deranged fur trapper or a pair of sailors merciless in their search for treasure. Either way, the story ends the same way, with the nun's head lopped off and the rest of her sadly beginning a never-ceasing search to make herself whole once more. I went to the store today and there was this group of women. They were probably I guess in their 50s. They were definitely they weren't old or anything. They were definitely older than me though. And one of them was actually dressed in a nun costume, and I don't know why, but they were having the best time. We were crossing the parking lot, and they're like, "Let the nun cross, let the nun cross," and they were just hysterical. They were just having a great time. But I would love to know the context as to why one of them was dressed up and the rest of them were not. And then of course there's the traditional white lady, and there's so many versions of the white lady. There are many ghosts all over the world who are called the White Lady. In medieval England, she was believed to appear as an omen of death. In Scotland, she was rumored to have been the lost soul of a suicidal girl who threw herself out of a tower. In Malta, she left from a balcony to escape an undesired marriage. In the Philippines and Portugal, she died in a car accident. White ladies linger in castles all over the United Kingdom, and in the US, her white dress is often believed to be a bridal gown for a wedding that would never take place. Other white ladies are said to be searching for lost children or deceased husbands, or else they are damned to walk the earth for killing an unwanted child. The two white ladies I've covered just met tragic ends when they were young, and I think that they're just lost souls. It's just always sad. But white lady ghosts always freak me out, and I find them so fascinating though too. But they're so freaky because they're always around cemeteries in the US, or on really dark roads. You're driving, and all of a sudden they'll appear in your car, right in front of your car, and that's terrifying in itself. Oh my god, no. And then of course there is the classic Grey Lady. There are plenty of stories about apparitions dubbed the Grey Lady popping up in Wales, Scotland, New Zealand, and even in Indiana. But the English legend of Dudley's Castle Grey Lady got new life recently when a photograph snapped by a tourist appeared to have captured the lady who is believed to have haunted the place for centuries. Having been built in 1071, the castle has its fair share of residents and is said to be haunted by many spirits, chief of which is the Grey Lady. She is believed to be Dorothy Beaumont, who died shortly after giving birth to a stillborn daughter. Her story claims she wanders the castle looking for her husband and baby, both of whom she called for on her deathbed with no avail. That's sad. Another well-known lady ghost story is the Brown Lady of Rainman Hall. Believed to be the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole. This ghost is so named for the brown brocade dress she has been spotted wearing. She was the wife of Whig statesman Viscount Charles Townshend and lived in the posh country house Rainman Hall, but her life there was one of misery. Her husband was notorious for his bad temper, and when he discovered his wife's infidelity, he imprisoned her in the house they shared. She died there of smallpox in 1726, and the first recorded sighting of her ghost came on Christmas in 1835. The following year, she so frightened one burly visitor that he fired a gun into her ghostly face. She vanished, but she has been spotted since in 1926 and 1936, when a photographer claims he snapped her picture as she descended down the stairs towards him. This is that really famous picture that you've seen. I'm sure you've seen it if you've looked at any ghost stuff. This is constantly like popped around. There's also the Red Lady of Huntington College. In her book, 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey, Catherine Tucker Windman tells a tragic story of an outsider named Martha who reluctantly came from New York to Huntington College because it was the alma mater of her grandmother. Said to have been a shy girl, the boldest thing about her was her love of the color red, which she draped about her bedroom in her blankets, curtains, rugs, and knickknacks. Failing to make friends, she became increasingly withdrawn and eventually began wandering to the doorways of others' dorms, staring in at night without saying a word. It's a pattern she said to repeat to this day after having swathed herself in a red blanket and slit her wrists in her room. And then there is the story of the Blue Lady. In California, in the Moss Beach Distillery Cafe, there claims to be the home of a ghost in a blue dress. As her story goes, she was a young married woman of the Prohibition era who fell for a handsome pianist who played at the cafe. One night while walking to the beach, they were attacked and she was unfortunately killed. Those who work at the cafe claim she still wanders through looking for her lost lover, and they cite mysterious phone calls, levitating objects, and locked rooms. Her story has been featured on Unsolved Mysteries and Ghost Hunters. And then there's a story of actress Olive Thomas. Having starred in the 1920 film that coined the phrase, Thomas was the original flapper. Her life was glamorous and included a stint as a Ziegfeld Follies showgirl and a marriage to Jack Pickford, brother of the movie star Mary Pickford. Her death came too soon at the age of 25 when Thomas drank down the mercury biochloride that was intended to treat her husband's syphilis topically. Whether this was accidental, perhaps she thought it was an illicit hooch, or intentional suicide, was a matter of debate. But since then, Olive has been said to haunt the New Amsterdam Theater in New York City, where she once owned the Spotlight. Thomas struts around in a green beaded costume that she wore as part of the Follies while clutching a blue bottle. She supposedly appears before men and flirts before she vanishes. She's been spotted so often by stagehands that a superstition has risen, claiming that it's best to say goodnight Olive as you leave so as not to snub the theater's long-term resident. Okay, my celestial cupcakes, so that is it for this edition of Friday Frights. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys are familiar with any of the stories that I've mentioned, or you've been to any of the places, let me know. I'm always curious to find out more about any of the things that I mention in my Friday Frights, because especially if someone's experienced anything at them, I'm always super intrigued to know. So I hope you guys have a great Halloween. I hope you guys do a lot of really fun stuff. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you really like this video, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to do neither one of those things, that's totally fine. I get it. I still thank you so much for stopping by and spending this minute with me. I really appreciate it. I will still send you tons of happy thoughts and positive vibes your way just for stopping by, so thank you. As always, I will have everything that I'm wearing on my face, as well as my Twitter and Instagram handles listed below in case you'd like to follow me there. I post pictures of looks that I do not film, as well as pictures of my pets, because I think they are adorable. But of course, we are all biased when it comes to our fur babies, but oh well. So anyway, from one makeup lover to another, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and remember, be you, do you, love you. Bye!